All right, number 2, we're going to do another problem like this. So solve -5 times the product of 7w plus 8, the sum of 7w plus 8 equals 30. Justify each step. So let's set up our table again. Equation, explanation, reason, and think. Hopefully you're knowing what you should do for the first line of your proof. Okay, remember I said in example 1, the first line of your proof is always what's given to you. So I'm going to start with -5, 7w plus 8 equals 30. Okay, what did I do? I just wrote the equation. Why? What's the reason? It was given. That's what. So you always start with what you're given. That's always the first line of your proof. Okay, then think about if you were just going to solve this without doing a proof, what would you do? You probably would distribute, right? You distribute the -5. So that's what we'll do next. We'll write that out. So -5 times 7w plus -5 times 8 equals 30. Okay, so we multiplied, right? That's the explanation of what we did. What property did we use? That would be your distributive property. Okay, next let's actually multiply and simplify that out. So I'm going to get -35w minus 40 equals 30. What did I do? I multiplied it and I simplified. All right, next, if you had an equation that looked like this, -35w minus 40 equals 30, what would you do next? Hopefully you're saying add 40 to each side. I'll put that in red just so you can clearly see what I'm doing to each side, the new part. Okay, so what did we do? We added 40. What property is that? That's the addition property of equality. All right, then let's simplify what we have. So then I get -35 equals, oops, I haven't lost my w somewhere. Sorry about that. W equals 70, right? 30 plus 40 is 70. Okay, so we combined like terms, the like terms of 30 and 40, and we simplified. All right, we're getting closer. Next, we need to divide each side by -35. Okay, so we're dividing by -35. That would be your division property of equality. Okay, so then what are we going to have? We're going to have w equals -2. What did we do? We divided and we simplified. So again, just walking you through sort of the algebraic reasoning and proof behind each of these, okay? All right, I think I'm gonna skip number 3 and we can do that on the Google Meet if we want to or we need to. All right, so we'll make this one number 3 then. All right, so you can summarize, but you should write something down for this problem. You get a raise at your part-time job. To write your raise as a percent, the formula, I'll highlight this. P times R plus 1 over N. So P is your previous wage, excuse me. R is the percent increase as a decimal. N is your new wage. Solve the formula for R. What is your raise written as a percent when your hourly wage increases from $7.25 to $7.54 per hour? Okay, so the first thing that we are supposed to do is solve the formula for R. All right, so we're going to do that first. And we're going to practice doing our algebraic proof format as well. So I'm going to put equation, we'll abbreviate it, explanation, reason. So remember, you always want to start with what was given to you. Okay, then let's think about what would we do to solve this. So we would distribute, right? We would distribute P. That would be our first step. So P times R plus P times 1, which I'm just going to put P because P times 1 is P, right? Okay, so what did we do? We multiplied, right? And that, what property did we use? The distributive property with the parentheses. Okay, then we want to solve for R. So our goal is to get R alone. Let's go ahead and subtract a P from each side. Okay, so what did we do? We subtracted P from each side. Okay, which that's the subtraction property then, right? If we're subtracting, subtraction property of equality. Let's simplify and see what we get. So then I'm going to get PR equals N minus P, right? Okay, we combined like terms, simplify. I'm going to have to move my table up a little, so if you need to pause the video to see, go ahead and do so. All right, and where are we here? We're almost done, I think. Okay, then our goal is to get R alone, so to get rid of P, we're going to divide by P. So I'm dividing by P, which would be, since I'm dividing, the division property of equality. Okay, and then my answer, these P's will cancel, so R equals N minus P over P. Okay, so we just kind of simplified. So I answered the first part. I'll highlight that. Here is my equation solved for R. All right, the next part says, what is your raise written as a percent when your hourly wage increases from $7.25 to $7.54? So all we're going to do for this is we're going to plug in, whoops, I was on type, plug in our numbers. Okay. I'm not sure how to delete the text box, so I'm just going to leave it there for now, play around with it later. All right, so let's put in what we know. So N is your new wage, so your new wage is $7.54. P is your old wage. Your old wage is $7.25, so So this would not really probably be in Minnesota. These are below our minimum wage. Okay, divided by P, which is your previous wage, $7.25. Let's simplify that. So if we subtract $7.54 minus $7.25, if I do this part, you're basically getting a raise of 29 cents. And we'll figure out what that is as a percent of your old wage, $7.25. We get 0.04. Remember, that's a decimal, so to change that to a percent, you can either multiply by 100 or you can move your decimal 2 places. So you're getting a 4% raise. Okay. All right, so if you need more time, pause that, go back.